everyone? Steven here from Breakout Cards, back at it again with an SGC submission. Today we only have one box, and I guess we do have two postcards as well, but we're going to do this one box review around 30-ish cards, so smaller SGC review today. And without further ado, let's get into it. First batch of cards here. First, we have the Charles Darwin from Cousie's Cigarettes. As you can see with this card on the right, there is part of the card missing, which is why it got a 1, and pretty pleased that it didn't get the authentic because of that. These next, I believe, 3 cards are ones that I recently purchased in an auction, and I got them raw and was going ahead and getting them graded. So it's an All Right from the National Chickle set. And I believe, yeah, the second one. So both of these were, I think these were actually separate lots, but one was nicer than the other. So it does make sense on the grade there from the 1 and the 2. And a Charles Lindbergh, also from that same set. This one, I thought maybe you could grade a little better than a 1, but I think there's just too many creases as we see and look closer up. There's just too many of those hair wrinkle creases coming along. So I had to give it a 1. Next, we have a Godfrey Phillips George Washington. We have a Ulysses S. Grant, and this got the min size, and I'm going to hold this closer, but as you can see on the sides, the borders are cut off, as well as the trapezoidal cut we have down here, which is why it got the grade that it did. And finally, from our first group, we have a Mozart, and this one here looks pretty nice. These black border cards are tough to grade, so a 4 is pretty decent with that overall. And I think that might be, out of these type of cards, one of the highest that we've gotten so far, a 4, so pretty decent. Starting up with our next group, we have the Allen & Ginter Great Generals, and we have the N15 Cromwell. And this one, yeah, as you can see, got that because of the paper loss in the back, as are a lot of these ones that we're going to show. The Wellington from the N15 set, also paper loss on the back. So we have Winfield Scott as well. I think that is our only other N15, I believe, in the group. And a lot of these, when you see, nicer fronts and an authentic, it probably means the back isn't so great, as per Exhibit A right here. Same thing. And these two also are on the back, but we got a Tomahawk, and we got a Bowie knife from the same set. Last little group right here, we have the scrap pictures. So this one, it says the E plurimus unum, which is, I believe it's Latin, and that I think it's written on like when you see it, the seal, it's written here, but I believe on like flags and such, it is written, which is pretty interesting. It's a nice little die cut card from, this type of time period. Might even be one of the first, die cut cards that were even out there or exist. So that's pretty interesting. Moving along here, we have the Lillian Russell from Sweet Caporal. We have a John Smith. This one, and I believe the 2 cards behind, are also from one of the auctions that we recently had. And if you guys have seen other videos, you might have seen these raw, but the John Smith ended up getting a 1. On the Columbus, we got a 3. And the Pocahontas, we got a 2.5. So yeah, out of those batch, definitely, as you can see in the John Smith, there was a line going through the front. But these ones for, gold border cards graded pretty decently overall. Next, another one of these scrap pictures cards, and we have the George Washington. And as you can see through here, a lot of them have these back damage, which is why I got the 1. We have Sir Walter from the World Smokers. And this card right here, so as you can clearly see in the middle of the card, there is an air here. This is the C3PO air card. This is from Topps, but there also is an O-Pee-Chee version, which this background right here would be an orange. For some reason, and I believe on the auction I might have bought it off, it said O-Pee-Chee on it, but this is, I believe, to be a Topps version. I think maybe because it had this, 1 star here instead of 2. I thought it was an O-Pee-Chee version, but according to SGC, it wasn't. And I got to do some more research to really see and make sure. But on these cards too, interesting non-sports card on the back, it shows like a little puzzle to, a bigger picture. So that's something that's pretty interesting. And the last 2 cards, as we said, they're both postcards of Frank Gotch. And if you really look at these two, I'm honestly a little surprised because off the first glance, it seems like, oh, with the marks there, that this might have graded lower. But actually, I believe the 2.5 had some little creasing issues and stuff like that. So numerically, it did grade lower than the 4. So 2.5 and a 4. And that is all of the cards we have from our last sub. Thank you guys for viewing in. It wasn't a big one this time, but you never know. Sometimes we get in bigger stuff. We've been sending them more in blocks to separate them out to help SGC with grading. As in, sometimes I'll get some normal sports stuff and send that in, as opposed to the non-sports stuff and get those sent in differently. So I get stuff coming back in a little bit more frequently. I believe that helps with the load a little bit. So hopefully that tip helps. And thank you, everybody. Have a great day. And until next time, take care. Happy collecting.